Day trip in small towns can be simple. Some only have one restaurant, so you get what you get. But what about tripping to a city with thousands of restaurants and millions of people? Cities with everything from interstates to alleyways and options on every corner. Well, I'm glad you asked, because I am in Dallas. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. If you start in Fort Worth with the cows, head 30 miles east and you'll find Dallas, the land of ponies. So the hardest part about tripping Big D is that it's big. I mean, you couldn't see this city in 20-day trips, so where do you start? Well, my advice is just pick an area and settle in. You know, hit the streets, dust up your boots a little bit exploring. And today, we're starting right here with the Stangs. The Mustangs, that is, of Southern Methodist University, as today, we're tripping the north side of Big D. Now, SMU's campus covers over 200 acres in one of the most prestigious parts of Dallas. Now, there is lots to see on campus, but the can't-miss stop out here, the George W. Bush Presidential Library and Museum. In this building sit the archives, papers, and museum of the 43rd President of the United States of America. This is amazing. You know what's so different about this presidential library for me is that I lived through all these events. I remember these events. You know, it's not like, those are the stories your parents told you. This was me. And I might have been his best intern, but you'll have to ask him on that one. George W. was raised in Midland, Texas, as the oldest child of George H.W. Bush. As an entrepreneur, he became part owner of the Texas Rangers, then Texas governor, then president. But within 9 months of taking the oath, President Bush had to lead our country through the worst attack ever on U.S. soil, September 11th. This is so sobering. So this is steel from the World Trade Center. I definitely remember where I was the day the towers fell. That was a very hard day. And I remember the voice of the president coming on.
I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
It was a day that would define his presidency and set the stage for the next 8 years as the U.S. fought the global war on terror. Oh wow, look at this. So it's the pistol Saddam Hussein had on him when he was found in that foxhole. This museum is full of amazing displays and interactive exhibits, taking visitors through a timeline of Bush's presidency. And if you ever thought it was easy to be president, step inside Decision Points. You're put in the seat of President Bush to face some of the hardest decisions he made throughout his presidency.
How hard could it be, right?
You want extra queso on your enchilada platter? The answer is yes. That's an easy one.
I think it was harder than that.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Hurricane Katrina. This is a tough one. The theater gives you insight from experts and citizens, and let me tell you, things aren't as black and white as they seemed.
We need help now.
We need help. They need help. They don't know what to do, Daniel. I'm listening to my trusted advisors. I don't know, Daniel. I don't know.
You're just pushing buttons. Decision. Come on, Chet. You want to be president. This is your chance.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I definitely don't envy the president's position. But his office, on the other hand, whoa! Look at this. It's a replica, an exact replica of the Oval Office, which means this right here is my chair. Listen, I've been meaning to have a little meeting with you. I like your show and all, but it's a little bit too Daytrippery. You know what I mean? I've got no Bush impersonation. You know, it just feels right. Just feels right.
Maybe I could do this.
Nah. The library is full of moments and memories of the President and First Lady, including the lighter side. But in January of 2009, the presidency ended and the Bushes returned to being normal U.S. citizens. But that doesn't mean the work ended. And if you end your tour inside the museum, well, you'll miss a very important part of the center. A 15-acre native Texas prairie and the enduring passion of former First Lady Laura Bush. Well, first off, let me say it is an honor to have you join us on our day trip to Dallas.
Well, thank you for coming here to the Bush Center.
Oh, it's incredible. I think too few people get to see what you've done outside back here.
That's right. I wanted the grounds to be native. SMU had given us this property on the campus, and we needed to fit in with their Georgian architecture. But of course, we didn't want to be Georgian. I guess we were. George W.
I like that one. What was your hope? That people would come out here?
Yeah, that people would come here. They would see things they could do in their own yard that do well here. These trees that are all trees that are native to this part of Texas. A few are from our tree farm. We developed the grass with the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, and it's a mixture of 5 Texas native grasses, a couple of grandmas, curly mesquite, poverty drop seed, buffalo.
After returning home from the White House, Mrs. Bush founded Texan by Nature, a nonprofit that encourages the conservation of all of our state's natural resources, even if that means letting these wild grasses get a little long.
We do have a neighbor who lives in the apartment buildings over here across the street in Youngstown, and he'll call the president of SMU and say, when are you going to mow? Because it does get tall.
Oh, well, you know, you've got to let a prairie do what a prairie does.
Exactly.
From dark skies to butterflies, Mrs. Bush educates the public on how to steward our lands and keep Texas thriving for both people and nature. What do you hope people who visit take away when they leave?
One thing is, of course, the history of, and that's what the museum shows.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready to open George's new paintings.
So your husband is now an artist?
He became an artist. It was a shock. He never even looked at art.
Really? He's actually a really great one too, often painting native plants and animals. Another reason to visit the Bush Center. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, your service to our country, and just the legacy you're continuing.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
With all the Bush family has done and continues to do, their legacy stands tall in Texas. Like really tall.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
One thing I love about tripping college campuses is that you can bet your pony there's good food nearby. The gritty, greasy sort of food that fuels a proper college education. And here at SMU, no joint has fed more Mustangs than the Burger House. Burger House opened in 1951 with a small walk-up window and a tiny kitchen serving big Texas cheeseburgers. And truthfully, not much has changed. And what's Burger House's secret sauce to success? Well, ask co-owner Chris Canelos, and it's not so much a sauce as a dust.
Why don't we start out with some Jack's Famous Fries? This is kind of what we're known for.
Okay, I'm not gonna pass that up.
You'll get a little taste of it. That's our little magic seasoning dust that we put on top, and we put that on everything. Jack came up with that in 1951.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it changes the fry.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's throwing me for a loop on some stuff.
It's simple ingredients, and people usually get 4 out of the 5, but they can't seem to nail that fifth. They can't seem to nail that fifth one.
Ingredients.
Yeah.
Spices.
There you go.
There's magic in the dust, but also in the griddle, making a Burger House burger like a classic hot rod that will never go out of style.
It's strictly old school, thin patty Texas burger, but you can add jalapenos, you can add bacon.
Oh, man.
Those are our only frill items. Ain't no guacamole, ain't no avocado.
Where's the goat cheese?
No.
Come on, and the brioche bun.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't have any of that.
I think the true secret to a multi-generational joint like the Burger House is the memories packed into each and every bite.
You can come in here on a Saturday sometimes and you'll have 3 generations sitting at the counter, a grandson, a father, and the grandfather. They still all live here. Kid probably went to SMU.
Yeah.
They all went to Highland Park High School and they'll all line up here. And these guys here will know what they want. So when you come in, we write down your order. And by the second or third time you come in, these guys are gonna know who you are.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. For me personally, my burger order changes with the weather, man.
They'll fix you up the way you want it, but 9 times out of 10, everybody that comes gets the same thing.
Same thing.
It's their childhood memory. They want it to be exactly like it was when they first started eating here.
And it doesn't matter if you're just a regular Joe or a pro athlete, and there are a lot of them.
When you sit down at a counter like this and you eat a burger, you think about how cool it was when you were a kid and you didn't have any worries, and it's just good stuff. Why change that?
I love it. Hey, thank you, man.
Anytime, my pleasure.
While there are a lot of great choices on the menu, today I'm keeping it old school. All right, here we are. Classic Burger House order. Double cheeseburger, Jack's fries, some tots, and chocolate milkshake.
Of course you get a shake.
Here we go. Oh, dude. That is right up next to burger perfection, if it hasn't already hit burger perfection. It hits all the classic notes, man. This is nostalgia on a bun. You know, I'm usually not a double patty guy, but when they're like old school and thin like this, you gotta double up, because it doubles up the crispiness on the edges. You know what I'm talking about? The little seared good parts.
Oh yeah.
All right, y'all give me long enough. I know I'm gonna be able to nail that last ingredient in the special seasoning. Just give me a couple hours. Celery salt, oregano, no, onion powder, could be. Pieces of Davy Crockett's coonskin hat. Burger House sits at the edge of Snyder Plaza, SMU's eclectic mix of restaurants, shops, and hangouts. But starting the next block over, will you hit lifestyles of the Texas rich and famous, known as Highland Park. If you have a stereotype in your head of Dallas being bougie, drive through Highland Park and it lives up to all the stereotypes. This is insane.
This is insane.
The house behind that house is bigger than my house. Whoa.
I can't believe it.
This is big to me. If you ran too fast through my front door, you might trip and fall out the back. Let me put it that way.
They're not so much homes, they're castles. Like they look like they've been around about 200 years, even though they probably date back to the year of our Lord, 2018.
I wonder what the entry point is for one of these homes.
The front door.
Greg.
So the truth is, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. And in true high society form, their local shopping mall is protected as a National Historic Landmark, putting the Highland Park Village Shopping Center up there with the likes of the Alamo and NASA Mission Control. And while this shopping center didn't start a country or send a man to the moon, when it opened in 1931, it was the first self-contained shopping center in America. Yes, truly, our country's first mall. And that's pretty cool. Now, this city certainly has its ritzy side, but it's not the only side to this town, as Dallas also loves being outside. All right, welcome to the White Rock Lake Loop. This is by far Dallas's most popular outdoor trail, but I didn't have to tell you that. I mean, look around. On a beautiful day like today, this place is packed with people. And so, I did bring along my bike. And when in Dallas, do as the Dallasites. Dallasians? It's Dallasites, right? Let's ride. It's both crazy and awesome to find such a huge lake in the middle of Dallas. It makes the perfect place for us to sweat off some burgers, or at least for me to do that. Oh, how is it over there, guys? Sitting in the air conditioner? Make the host do all the hard work. I see how it is. It's not gonna pay off in the long term, guys. This is a marathon, not a sprint. All things in balance, I suppose. The lake is surrounded by a 9.3-mile loop, and today the park's being used by anybody and everybody for what seems like everything. This is cool. And I love seeing all the people out here using this trail. I mean, this big old loop is it's more than enough to sort of like get outside, get your head away from the downtown skyscrapers and all of that stuff and just breathe in some fresh air, you know?
Whew, yep, that's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
3 words, treat yourself. The entire public park here is great, but on the east bank of White Rock Lake, well, you'll find one of the most beautiful, colorful parks in the country, known as the Dallas Arboretum.
My goodness, look at this. I'm not even a flower guy and I'm crazy impressed. Every year, the Dallas Arboretum plants 500,000 springtime bulbs. So it's tulips, hyacinths, amarilla monts or somethings. I don't know the names of them, okay? They're pretty colors and I like looking at them. You know, there truly isn't another place in the country like the Dallas Arboretum.
It's 66 acres of trails, colorful flower beds, and open spaces that used to be 2 sprawling estates on the lake. And each year, tens of thousands of people visit, whether it's to see the tulips in the spring or the pumpkins in the fall.
Man, everybody out here is having photo shoots. We got family portraits, bridal portraits, quinceañera portraits. I think I need to take some portraits.
Hey, when in Dallas. The Arboretum is picture perfect on a bright sunny day, but there is a darker side to White Rock Lake that trippers should know about.
Ooh, all right, guys, so before we leave the lake, have you ever heard about the Lady of White Rock Lake?
No, but I bet you're gonna tell us.
Okay, all right, so this is a good one. So legend holds that this entire lake is haunted by the ghost of a lady in a white dress who drowned in the lake in the 1930s. And well, some people still see her spirit walking the trails as if she needs something. I don't... Like, really? Oh, look at this. There's this lady up here. She looks kind of nice. We should stop and see. She might be distressed.
No, you just got through saying. I don't think that's a good idea. Keep going. No, what are you doing?
Keep driving.
Guys!
Chet, that was close.
No, that was rude. And she seemed nice.
Trippers beware. All over Dallas, you'll find pocket neighborhoods buzzing with locals, spots like Deep Ellum, Uptown, or the Bishop Arts District. But here in this part of town, it's all about Greenville Avenue. And when Lower Greenville couldn't hold everyone, the thirsty masses busted out into Lowest Greenville. On this street, you'll find enough art, food, and drinks to keep any tripper content, including spots that couldn't feel less Dallas. Welcome to the Truck Yard. It's like an antique junkyard had a baby with a food truck park. And with the ever-rotating selection of craft beer and food trucks, you can never be sure what the menu will hold. But you can be darn certain that if you're in here, you're gonna have a good time.
Nobody doesn't like sitting in a folding chair under a tree petting their dog. Everyone in the world likes that. If you don't, I will punch you in the face. And I don't want you in here.
This is owner Jason Boso. And he might not tell you this, but he's a trained chef and wine sommelier that simply had a vision for something way more chill than a Dallas steakhouse.
This place was a radiator shop and a junkyard and a mosquito-infested thing. It was disgusting. And I went, this is genius, I'll take it.
What did you see when you walked in here? Like this?
I saw Green Hall, I saw Lukenbach, I saw Robert's Country Store. All these places that you've been maybe showed me. Dallas didn't have that culture, man.
As you can see, this entire yard is meant to take you out of the big city to a simpler place in time, whether you're sitting in a truck bed or a treehouse.
This is up to code? Dallas code is okay with this thing?
Cut it, cut it.
Okay, we gotta cut that part out.
I assure you, it may be crazy, but it's safe. It's also safe to say that any food truck that rumbles into the truck yard is going to be the real deal. Now there is one permanent food truck of sorts that never changes. They do one thing, but they do it right. Cheesesteaks, the Texas way.
Larry is putting on some fresh sliced ribeye.
Woo!
And look, there ain't nothing else on this thing. You go to Philadelphia, it is piled up over here and piled up over there.
Yep.
What's gonna happen? Crispy little bits of that meat.
Yeah.
And you don't get that in Philadelphia. That's the Texas style.
Jason also has a local Mexican bakery recreate the famous Philly Amoroso rolls, but better. Oh yes, but even Jason doesn't neglect the best Philly topping. I'm talking Cheese Whiz. I like it that even a trained chef can acknowledge that sometimes cheese out of a bag, that's where it's at.
Reminiscence, right, of our childhood.
That's right.
Can't beat that.
Exactly. Now that's a meal right there. Jason, thank you, brother.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. Truck yard meal, but of course I had to get above the yard up here in the tree house to enjoy with the best view in the whole yard right here. You know, you don't find many, if any, cheesesteak places in Texas that are serving legit Cheese Whiz on a cheesesteak. This is the authentic, real deal. And that bread kind of has its own sort of like, it's crusty, but it's soft. Oh, that's good. This cheesesteak right here puts Philadelphia on notice. Hey, Philly, we see your cheesesteak. We raise you a Texas cheesesteak. Oh, that's good. Just look at it. Caramelized onions, perfectly thin sliced steak that's crispy around the edges, the Cheese Whiz. Why is processed cheese so delicious? No one ever has to say, you know, that's not real cheese. I don't care that it's not real cheese. It's delicious. I love how laid back this spot is. Yes, there are parts of Dallas that totally live up to the stereotype, but then there are spots that totally bust the stereotype. This is one of them. And I'm willing to bet there's a lot of highfalutin Dallas folk that like to sort of shun all the fancy stuff, come here, kick back with a cheesesteak and a beer and some live music. Everybody can get behind that. I don't care how much money you have in your bank account. This is your spot. I could hang out here all evening. But as the sun goes down, well, my curiosity is getting the best of me. And I think it's time that we visit the local apothecary. If I could find it. This is Apothecary, a cocktail bar that pays tribute to the history of mixology while pushing the limits of possibility, where founder Tanner Agar and the team have created something Victorian underground in the front, mad scientist in the back.
So I think we'll start with the Octopus's Garden. We're using basil, mint, and sage to make this cocktail. What we wanted to do was use a new process called nitromuddling, where we're literally freezing the herbs in liquid nitrogen.
Okay.
We crush it into a powder, so we get total extraction of the flavors.
What? And if that isn't enough, throw in a half dozen more ingredients and then top it with a tentacle of charred octopus and octopus ink. I'm at a loss for words, man.
I'm glad to hear it.
Never have I seen an octopus tentacle coming out of something that I'm about to drink.
Yeah, if you're gonna have octopus ink in it, it's just more fun to eat the octopus itself.
Because why not? Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, fresh, vibrant.
Very vibrant.
For sure.
We're supposed to just
Oh, absolutely.
grab a bite of that right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
First time I've ever done that.
There you go. You get a snack and a drink.
This is more than mixology. It's science. And it's fun. Apothecary adds an air of the whimsical to everything they do, such as caviar nachos on see-through potato chips. Ma'am, oh, what my eyes see and what my mouth tastes, totally different things. Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. The element of surprise is what makes food so exciting.
Just as it is with day tripping. Dallas is a town with surprises on every corner. From stunning museums to outdoor playgrounds, and from historic burgers to cutting-edge cocktails, you can be as fancy or as down-home as you want. After all, Big D is big enough for all of us. So this has been an unexpectedly awesome day trip, and I will see all y'all out on the road. Vaya con Dios, amigos. Oh, dang, I forgot to order dessert. I'll just eat these candles. Because they are dessert. Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Daytripper on Instagram and at the Daytripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Daytripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Daytripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Daytripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Daytripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.